Hey, welcome to the Nerditorium. My name is Dinkar.
I'm Tejas.
And today we are talking about the DC animated universe, the best version of the DC universe in this universe.
Is it true? Yes. I mean, they're
And
definitely.
what else is there?
They're definitely better, but they've had more shots at the game.
The animated universe?
Yeah.
Yes, but I feel like the animated universe has been consistently good and it managed to accomplish so much that the DC film universe right now definitely isn't. And a lot of things that even the Marvel universe can't really pull off.
That's true. I mean, it's best not to kind of compare it to the films. Obviously, it's just budget, blah, 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 etc. But what they have created with the animated universe, I mean, nobody needs any more, to talk about like Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, and Andrea Romano doing their run on the Batman, the animated series. And then came Superman, the animated series, Justice League Unlimited. All of these are shows that, and all the fringe shows as well, like the Zeta Project, or what else was it? Batman of the Future, Batman Beyond, which was excellent as well. What else came out? I mean, so basically we had a bunch of these shows.
Yeah, the TV shows, and then eventually they spun off into the movies, which have again been consistently great to good. So, and there's a couple of clunkers in there.
That's
but
fine.
They're fine.
It's totally
they're going
possible.
they're batting like 30 for 32 or something
it's
like
true.
that. So they've done a solid job.
And we recently did a podcast which kind of we dived like really hard into
deeply into
the animated universe and spelunking. We spelunked into the animated universe and we discussed everything. But right now we're going to talk about why we love the animated universe and what's our favorite films from them.
Yeah, the best ones from the lot.
And then we're going to pick one film to rule them all.
That's gonna be so hard.
Yeah, it's unfair almost.
I mean, I know my choice, but also I'm not sure of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of what I'm going to pick. So, why do we love the animated universe, man? I think, sorry, before we start, we can roughly divide the universe in terms of timelines into 3 parts, I want to say. So you have the Batman animated, the Bruce Timm,
correct, the Timmverse.
The Timmverse, basically. Paul Dini universe, which kind of was still, I think, Justice League Unlimited ended. Yeah. Sure. And then after that, we got a bunch of random films.
Yeah, one-shots almost, right?
Like one-shots.
Come and go.
Yeah. Then they restarted the DC continuity where they had one set of actors playing all the main characters consistently over many films, which was like the New 52 of the animated universe.
Yeah, more or less. They don't actually brand it that way, correct? They just started a new stretch.
They did, but I mean, if you look at the costumes and how they're modeled and the arcs that they've picked, all happened after New 52, including like Son of Batman, things like that. But the other thing which is really great about the DC animated universe is that we, fans always kind of look to movies and say, oh man, you should adapt this arc and you should adapt this arc and this is one of my favorites. And we rarely get exactly what we're looking for. We get like versions of them in the films. Like for example, The Dark Knight, did The Long Halloween and a mixture of that with, some other kind of arcs. In year one, it's for Batman Begins.
Kind of Batman Begins, yeah.
But in the animated universe, they just take those, they tackle those arcs head on, and they make entire animated movies out of them. Yeah. For example, they've done, The Dark Knight Returns, they've done Year One.
Yeah, they've done the Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, well, Flashpoint in the comics.
Flashpoint,
yeah. And man, they've got like, so those are like the one-shot, the more of the one-shots kind of that they do.
Yes, more or less.
Yeah, but they've also faced a little bit of criticism for some of their films because of the way they've adapted those, so that's fine, I think. The funny thing is that it came from a film from a beloved comic called The Killing Joke, which was by Alan Moore.
So, whatever criticism it received was actually for that first half an hour where they threw in this whole other story.
Batman, Batgirl, get it on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
It was weird.
It was fine. I thought it was. I didn't mind it as much as everybody else did. But the funny thing was that it was handled by pros. But like it was done by Brian Azzarello, who writes a lot of the comics. He's done a bunch of really great arcs.
I feel like that could have been a thing by itself, but it did not gel well with the Killing Joke story.
I mean, I think they just needed to get more weight into Batman's decision and the fact that Gordon has to like kind of lose his mind. The whole one bad day can turn you.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. What do you think of the acting though? What do you think of Mark Hamill?
He's always been spectacular, and it was so good when he.
We should totally do which is the best Batman, best Joker apart from Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
But that makes it a lot tougher because Kevin Conroy is the best Batman and Mark Hamill is the best Joker.
This is true. Yeah.
He is.
Animated.
Animated, yes. Oh, are we talking like overall best Batman and Jokers?
Because then the best Joker is Cesar Romero.
Interesting.
Yeah. You paint over your mustache and see how it looks.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, I think it's time we talk about our favorite DC animated films.
Yeah, objectively the best because they're
Yeah.
our favorite.
Correct. Yes. That's what we bring to the table.
We
Taste.
sit in judgment of the DC animated universe.
Ooh.
I know
We're
why
like
this,
the- because
this is my
that's-
sitting in judgment pose.
No, but that's like what they do for this guy at, on
true.
OA.
Correct.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about our favorites, but we're not gonna talk about our top pick. We're gonna save that for the end.
Sure.
Let's do that and maybe throw in some notable mentions.
Okay.
How many films do you have that you want to talk about?
Well, to start with, let's talk about the Flashpoint Paradox because I think that's just a great adaptation of a very complicated arc, really, that they managed to condense into one tight, 90-minute movie?
Yeah, pretty much.
Solidly
And yeah,
done.
that's the other thing about these films, right? That because they're animated and obviously there's obviously a budget constraint, they don't really go past like an hour 90, basically 90
Yeah,
minutes
about 90
ever.
minutes
like it's
on average.
Usually it's like an hour 10. And they still manage to tell like a
Yeah.
really, really good story. Yeah,
The Flashpoint Paradox basically,
excellent.
I mean, if you know the arc or if you don't, we'll just sum it up for you. Basically, the Flash runs so fast, he lands up in an alternate universe
Yeah.
where Bruce Wayne never became Batman.
Yeah, basically,
Thomas
Bruce Wayne
did.
dies in that in the shooting, and his mother and father kind of end up becoming. I feel like that's a spoiler for the comic
Oh, is
books,
it? But it's so
fine.
good.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean,
No, I mean, about the father, basically, Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. He becomes like this really DC version Batman, if you can
Yeah.
say so.
A very
Where he uses a
dark
gun
Batman.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But excellent movie, man. That
He don't
movie's so
give a
good.
shit.
Also, it's got a great cast, if I'm not mistaken.
is it not
but
the Golden Cast? Who is?
No, it's just a bunch of guys. I can't remember who it is, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Also,
a good one.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
Flash has to run really fast again.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Run, Barry.
Run, Barry.
Yeah. So that's one.
That's one great
film.
one. Tell us other great ones.
Well, actually, I was gonna go do like a couple of not as popularly known as like the best ones.
Sure.
Batman Sub-Zero, which came out between seasons 1 and 2 of the Batman animated series. And if you're following, they're releasing now the entire series on Blu-ray, and this movie is included as well. And so this movie is basically, if you guys don't know, a couple of characters like Harley Quinn, etc., and Mr. Freeze got
Were
their
invented,
origins.
yeah.
I mean, at least their origins were cemented in the Batman animated series. So Sub-Zero basically introduces Nora Freeze and his struggle and makes him a really apathetic, kind of not apathetic, sympathetic character. He's generally apathetic, but. It's always nice to see him.
Yeah.
And I think Sub-Zero is great. I think that's really good.
That's a kick-ass choice.
Yeah.
Batman Year One and Batman: The Dark Knight are also great comic book adaptations because I mean, in a
The
lot
Dark
of
Knight
places,
Returns.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, basically young Batman and old Batman.
Yeah.
But they're almost panel for panel adaptations of the story, but really well done. Just perfectly
Year One
executed.
is actually, honestly, one of my favorites. Also, that bonus of we may not ever have it in live action, but we got Bryan Cranston to be Commissioner
as
Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon. And he's, I mean, he's like the anchoring point for that story.
The whole
He's
story
the
is
narrator
around him. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's great.
Cool. And I just want to throw in one of the more recent ones which I really enjoyed.
Tell us.
Well, two technically. One is Gotham by Gaslight.
Gotham by Gaslight is great.
Yeah, really, really solid entry, set in the Victorian era, and he's kind of trying to track down Jack the Ripper. Really, really cool, and it's got amazing twists and turns which you do not expect. And they've changed it from the comic book, so even if you've read the comic book, it's still interesting for you.
That's another thing that I like that the DCAU does that hopefully we're maybe now seeing the DC cinematic universe get into, which is these odd what if one-shot type scenarios, which is, I mean, what if Batman was in Victorian England? Or in the case of Batman Ninja, what if Batman was a ninja, literally?
What if he was a disciplined warrior, samurai warrior?
Disappointed! So,
excellent moment.
Batman Ninja was another great one like that. But our very, very favorites, let's talk about.
Okay, let's talk about two. Okay, we have two picks, I suppose.
Yes.
Oh,
Because our
sorry,
picks might
last
differ.
one before we get to our two picks.
Tell us.
Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay. We'll say nothing more because I don't think you've seen
I haven't seen it yet, no.
But if you like any of the previous films we've just talked about, then there's something special in that for you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about our very favorite DC animated movies of the many, many that there are. So to start with, what is your pick, Tejas?
My pick is a classic, one of the originals, I think, The Mask of the Phantasm,
The Mask of the Phantasm, which introduces Andrea Beaumont.
Yes.
True?
Original characters. I think there are a bunch of original characters in this. It's an original story. I don't think it's been adapted from anywhere. I think this is where they kind of really, said like, what if we made a feature-length version of the animated TV show, and they provided like a backstory that we had yet. Because when we start watching the animated series, we don't see much of his history. We just
Correct,
come into the show.
Get into
he's
whatever
Batman.
he's doing that week.
Yeah, pretty much. But in this, we get a side to him that we haven't seen before, which is before he was Batman, and there's a really awesome. My favorite part of this movie is that once he meets Andrea Beaumont, they actually fall in love, and he goes to his parents' grave and he says, "Man," he basically says, "Is it okay that I don't be Batman anymore? Because I'm happy now, and all I wanted was this. And can I please not be Batman anymore?" And
then a voice goes like, "No." That's not what.
No,
happens.
it's actually a voice says, "Maybe they sent me."
Yeah.
She's there.
Yeah.
She's there at the graveyard.
That's how he meets her also, correct?
At his parents' graveyard?
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
he goes to a grave to mourn, and he sees her mourning at a graveyard also, and he's like, "Ma kind of gal." Are you obsessed with your parents' death? Me too.
Moving on to your pick. Anyway, watch The Mask of
Yeah,
Phantasm,
it's a great
obviously.
movie in spite of
Fantastic.
the jokes we're making about it.
Yeah.
My pick, I just realized while we were talking about Mask of the Phantasm, has a very similar story. It's called Batman Under the Red Hood. And in this also, a mysterious figure is terrorizing the villains of Gotham. Basically, a man under a red hood
You
is...
don't say.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Okay.
There's also a Batman in there. He has beaten the shit out of some Batman villains.
This is true.
And so Batman is understandably upset. Nightwing also comes back and sort of helps
Yeah,
out.
played by Neil Patrick Harris.
I know.
Yeah,
How
and Bruce
weird.
Greenwood plays Batman, who's awesome. If you don't remember him, he's the first captain in Star Trek, the reboot, J.J. Abrams.
Right.
Who gives Chris Pine
Correct.
inspirational.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, he's awesome. Anyway, so that's that. Let us know which is your favorite DC animated universe movie, and tell us which ones you like, why you like them, and which is your favorite Batman and Joker, which is not Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Or if they are Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, just say what's up.
Yeah. See you later, you nerds.
See ya.